Glen Jackson used to play for Bay of Plenty, used to play for the Chiefs, was a rugby referee of some note as well, and he's your assistant coach. Joins us. Welcome to the show, mate.
Cheers, Martin. Great to be on your show, mate. Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, you're part of the Fiji setup. We get you to explain that to us exactly what you're doing, but first and foremost, just the feeling at Twickenham when that final whistle went.
No, it was pretty surreal. One of our big things during the week was be the first team to beat England and make some history on the way to the World Cup. So it's it was certainly great for the boys to come off with the victory and such a great place to play rugby, and gives us a fair bit of confidence, obviously, going into the World Cup in a couple of weeks.
Well, so it should too, because it's on the back of a very impressive victory over Japan as well, just a couple of weeks before that.
Yeah, well, you had the PNC, which, we won 3 games with Samoa and Tonga and Japan. So it gave us a fair bit of confidence coming out of that. Then we played France last week, and I thought the boys actually played pretty well against France, but they're a big old team. And then, then to finish with that game, it's been a really good build-up for us. And having the boys together for 8 weeks already, it sort of gives us a real good chance to work on things that you don't do in smaller campaigns with the Fijian boys.
Is this the longest time that you and your coaching staff have actually had them together?
Oh yeah, by miles. Yeah, normally November internationals or the November window, you get them a week, first week just before the game. So you don't really get any chance to be able to implement the things that you need to, especially when half the boys are playing either in France or in England. Obviously helps with the drawer now, and the other half being with us at the drawer. So it's sort of we at least get some continuity there. But this is definitely the biggest build-up we've had, and it's needed to go into such a big tournament.
So how many players exactly are playing in France, and kind of spread across how many teams?
Yeah, well, like every team, we've got 33 players, 17, I think, playing in the drawer. So the rest of them play their trade overseas. So I think we've got about 12, I think, that play in France, and not many of them actually play in the same sort of clubs. So they're spread over pretty much all the clubs, really. And then there's the rest are sort of either in England and one in Scotland. So it's sort of pretty well spread. We're lucky. A lot of those guys have played a lot of rugby together in terms of the Fiji. So our experience comes from the overseas players, and then the youth and the young guys coming through are all from the drawer. So it's been a really good balance. We started with a week at Tavaruni up north of Fiji on a very remote island. It was a really good way to start, just bringing the boys together. No phone reception, and they all slept in the old village in the hall, like marae style. So it was a really good way to start the campaign.
Glenn, what is your role exactly?
On the backs and attack coach for the boys. So it's sort of what I do with the drawer as well. So it's it's been a good rollover to be able to do both that and it's a pretty good team to have as your attack. They're obviously some talented individuals, and what they can do with the ball is pretty phenomenal at times.
Do you also help them out in terms of refereeing interpretations, and put that hat on and use your experience in those matters?
Yep. No, we definitely. I pretty much try and ref most sessions, especially our contact ones, and it's been a massive change for us. We gave 7 penalties away in the weekend, and our target's sort of below 10, so 7 in any international and test match, especially, has been awesome. I think it's the last 3 games we've actually been under 10, so it's a massive goal for us. And the only way we could really be disciplined is work really hard on the fitness and at times I feel bloody sorry for them, but we've had a real campaign of fitness first, discipline second, and then play like Fijians, having fun is the third thing. So it sort of ties in nicely together. And at the moment, they're probably all of them would say they're the fittest they've ever been, and that helps in not only our attacking style but defence, but also, of course, our discipline. And we know teams try and put us under pressure at set piece, but our set piece is going really well at the moment. So it's just not giving them a chance to get into the 22, and the only way you can do that is be disciplined. So it's certainly a massive work on for us.
What is the improvement that you've seen to be able to get to a stage where you can go to Twickenham and create history like you did on Sunday?
Like I said, I think we've got a fairly good mixture of youth, a lot of really good young guys that have come out of Super Rugby, and obviously this year getting into into a quarterfinal, and the learnings we had from that, getting a bit of a toweling from the Crusaders, but it was certainly playing playoff footy, gave our young guys some belief. Our selection was really hard. We left out some really good players. That is probably it's a shame to do it, but it also shows the depth we've got when you make some really tough calls around certain positions. And then the guys playing in France, we've got Weiss, who's our captain, who plays in France, has done for 12 years. We've got Lavani Botti, who's won European trophies with La Rochelle. And, so we've got guys that have actually experienced Europe and experienced lifting trophies. So that sort of that experience and belief, I guess, for our boys, then bring it all together and work really hard on what it means to play like Fijians. And Simon Raulunu, our head coach, has done a fabulous job around making sure our connection is back to Fiji, back to the villages and where they come from. And it's been a lot of enjoyment. I wouldn't say hard work. It's been a lot of good fun around just making sure the boys are still smiling, no matter what happens. And it's certainly it's making a difference at the moment on the field. We know it's still nothing happens now until Wales and the 10th of September and then Australia. So if it doesn't really matter what happens in pre-season, that's when it really counts. So we'll go in with some huge belief in the way we're playing, but every game, especially in the pool, is going to be a knockout game. So it'll be really where the pressure and how we've been working really hard on our fitness will come through, hopefully.
Glen Jackson is with his name very much synonymous in New Zealand rugby, of course. 60 appearances for the Chiefs. See him with the whistle in his mouth as well. And now attached, as he said, to the Indruum with the Fijian team. So Aussie, Wales, Georgia, Fiji, Portugal. Who are you targeting in that group?
Well, our first two games. So we've got Wales first up, massive game in terms of, two different styles of footy and probably two different, I suppose, lead-ups in terms of the World Cup. So that's going to be a massive game for us, and then straight into Australia. So pretty much, the other two games that we have to really concentrate on. Everything has been just Wales, though. So we know that's our first game. You sort of come away with the wrong result of that game, then it's going to be a hard slog because Georgia are also playing extremely well. Well coached, obviously, with quite a few New Zealand, Paul Tito and Corey Brown there. So there's some good coaches there as well. So it's people probably calling it, well, it's definitely probably the easier side of the draw, but for us, it's three big games on the bounce, and then the unknown of the Portugal for our last one, which is certainly a game that that could trip someone up. I think they've got a fair bit of French-based players in there, so they've had some reasonable results over the last few weeks as well. So it's it's all September the 10th in Wales, last game of the first round. So it's going to be a doozy, hopefully.
Yeah, standing there afterwards when the final whistle goes at Twickenham, mate, and you're standing at the home of rugby. England have lost. What's that feeling like? Yeah,
it was pretty good. Obviously, it was my first Test match actually at Twickenham when I was reffing was Fiji England, so it was good to come back and as a coach and then to obviously perform and win for the first time ever. It was a special feelings, but especially for the players loved it. But I think what it did for back home in Fiji, in terms of the excitement that it's sort of produced there. We all know what Fiji's about in rugby and how much they love it, and to put it up for what we're trying to do is play for people back in Fiji, and the boys certainly showed up, and obviously England are going through some pretty difficult things at the moment with the coaches and Sporthers. I played with Mitsari, so it's sort of you feel for things that they're going through, but we'll certainly never forget the day that Fiji got to finally beat England. It was pretty awesome.